This is Brother Jamal coming to you live here on Facebook. This is our Wednesday morning talk that we bring to you, where we speak the truth. Not only we speak the truth, we tell the truth, and this is coming from the last man standing. We're just getting our camera kind of set up here. So, truth is a wealth of freedom. We communicate, educate, and organize. Truth is a wealth of freedom. We communicate, educate, and organize. Truth is a wealth of freedom. We communicate, educate, and organize. Truth is a wealth of freedom. We communicate, educate, and organize. Once again, this is our Wednesday morning talk, where not only we speak the truth, we tell the truth, and this is coming from the last man standing. Any comments that you would have, you can drop them at the bottom of the page. You have any questions while I'm on here live, inshallah, I'll try my best to answer them. And if you just want to come on and listen, that's fine too. We have a couple subjects that we'll be talking about this morning. One is we continue to talk about and discuss the murder, if you will, of Mr. Nolan Wells in Mississippi. The appeal for a new trial and the things that are going on with Mr. Carmelo Anthony's appeal and stuff. And also, we always like to bring up the rear and talk about and just remind us all that we are in a war. And I don't know how many times I could say this. Just like some people would think that they would come on the nightly news, I guess, and make a public service announcement to the black community, to black people that we are at war. Or maybe people may be thinking that you may see some signs that say whites only, Jim Crow is back or something like that. People may be looking for that. Or some people may be simply shocked and surprised about the happenings and what's going on. I hear some people on social media, black people, saying they are surprised, they can't believe it, they never thought it would happen, can't imagine it. Well, all those things may be true, but the real deal is, and the reality of it is, they are happening right in this day and time. I just want to take us back. Most of you probably weren't born. You probably don't remember this. And if you see what I see a lot of people doing now is coming on social media, especially black people, with information they have read, maybe got off their phone, maybe Googled it or something. Maybe somebody told them some incorrect information. But I see so many black people coming on social media and spitting their mouth off about stuff that's incorrect, or it's not fact, or it's not true. This is what I see going on today. Now here's the deal. I want to speak up on Mr. Nolan Wells' murder and the dirty, filthy record that those rednecks, them redneck devils in Mississippi has. They have a dirty, filthy record. The rednecks, the white devils in Mississippi, they have a dirty, filthy record, y'all. And if you ever listen to Fannie Lou Hamer talking, she tells you how Mississippi was, how it was, and how it still is today. Now, Fannie Lou she was an activist, and she was real vocal in her sentiment for the love of black people and the genocide that was being practiced on black people in Mississippi. Listen to Fannie Lou Hamer sometime. Google her name and listen to her talk. She gives you a breakdown on Mississippi, how it was then. Now, if you want an up-to-date version of Mississippi, listen to Carlos Moore, who used to be a judge in Mississippi. And he can tell you from the inside how filthy Mississippi is when he was on the bench. See, he was a judge there in Mississippi for quite some time. See, so Mr. Carlos Moore can tell you the actual facts about how dirty and filthy Mississippi is inside. That's what he's talking about. Fannie Lou can give you the blueprint of how Mississippi was in the 1930s and the 40s and the 50s and how they treated black people then. See, she can give you that. Fannie Lou Hamer. All you got to do is Google her name. And listen to some of her speeches and some of her talks that she talks about Mississippi. So do you think that them redneck devils have changed any? No, they ain't changed none. They done got worse. It's worse now than it was. And listen to Carlos Moore, the judge that was there. I think he was a judge in Mississippi. Maybe sit on the bench for about 6 or 7 years. And so when he's talking from experience because he was inside and he saw how dirty and filthy they were inside Mississippi. Them redneck devils, white devils in Mississippi. He saw it. And he speaks. When you hear him talk, he speaks on that and talks about it. So, but the other part of what I wanted to share with you too, and this goes back, you hear me talk about there was a redneck devil by the name of Lester Maddox in Mississippi. This is back way before most of you was born. We're talking about 1950s, maybe 40s. He was there for a long time. See? And so his thing was he made an open claim about the fact that he was a white supremacist. He was a member of the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan and all the other hate groups. And he served as a politician in Mississippi. Lester Maddox, a racist redneck devil, that's what he was. The whole time he served. See? So when you look at Mississippi today, I laugh sometimes when I hear these redneck devils on talking, that governor and DA and all the rest of them talking, see. And I said to myself, you devils, you white devils got a lot of nerve to get on and go tell Ben Crump and all the people that's done come to Mississippi, y'all gotta leave. As if the land and the country, the state belongs to them. As if they, but you know, when you think about it, I guess there's a portion of that is true because these redneck devils have did so much filthy, corrupt stuff in Mississippi. They probably think that the state does belong to them. I mean, look at the redneck white supremacist devils in Mississippi and all the corruption they have carried on. And this goes all the way back to the time of Fannie Lou Hamer. See, we're talking about the 1940s all the way up to 2026. See? And so that's what we see. Now for people that don't know anything about Mississippi, that weren't even born, don't know anything about the 40s and the 50s, then you don't have a clue about how them redneck devils, white devils in Mississippi has been operating since the 1930s and 40s. See, and that's why you keep hearing me mention Lester Maddox, because he was a known redneck cracker. That's what he was, Lester Maddox in Mississippi. See, and so what they try to do oftentimes in places like Mississippi and Alabama, they try to intimidate fear in the black people there. That's their main goal, is to intimidate fear in the black people. And they think they have some kind of privileges because they done went to school with the black people. They done played sports with the black people. They know all the black people in the town. Everybody knows everybody. So they think they have some superiority, if you will, kind of hold on the black people and black community. And oftentimes you will see in those situations, black people are fearless of those crackers in them small white towns like that. You see that. Mississippi and Alabama is a prime example. And you know why I'm speaking on that. I don't know if it was the redneck crackers that did it. I don't know if it's the coons that did it. But don't you know they had the nerve to be sending mail and sending stuff to Nolan Wells' mother. Had nerve to be sending that. Like I said, I don't know if it was them crackers. I don't know if it's the coons that's doing it. Either way, it don't make no difference. This is what they were doing. And then trying to defame her character to mess her job up. Now this Nolan Wells' mother is a professional, and she's good at the work that she does. But these crackers are the coons, whoever it was, a combination of both, all the above. I don't care. It don't make no difference. Whoever was doing it. That just shows you how if it was redneck crackers, if it was coons, it shows you how low they will go. See, that's what it shows you. That's why I said the state of Mississippi, there ain't nothing civil about them devils. There ain't nothing human about them devils. They're a bunch of redneck crackers, and you got a bunch of coons there who line themselves with that or support that. Put it like that. See, and that's what's going on. They had the nerve to send her information to her house, to say things about her, and then to attack her about her job. And like I said, she's a professional healthcare worker in the area that she works in, and it's good. She's a good worker in what she does. See, but this is what a cracker would do, or this is what a coon would do. See, this is the mentality of them. I'm saying a redneck cracker coon. That's what they would do, and the coons just as bad. Look at the that Brandon Tatum, that guy on doing all of the but understand now. Understand when you see Brandon Tatum, you have to understand, y'all. He has a doctor's degree in how to be a professional coon. I'm talking about Tatum. He has a doctor's degree in how to be a professional, high-level coon. Him and Stephen A. Smith, Jason Whitlock, the three of them, they have all doctor's degree in how to be a high-level, sophisticated, educated coon. And that's what you see operating. See, now you have some other ones who have a master's degree. They trying to ascend to the to get their doctors in coonality, but you have some that have a master's degree, and they are trying their best to earn their doctor's degree in how to be a coon. But if you notice on social media, it's the coons that will defend, the coon will defend his white slave master at any and every cost, and the missus. Understand, y'all. You have these coons who will defend their white slave master and the missus. Wrong or right, they defend them. That's their job. That's what they get. That's why they get a few extra crumbs from the table, because that's what they're there for. And so it's a cowardly act, any way you put it, coon or either cracker. It's a cowardly act that they would send mail and try to disframe the character of Nolan Wells. But you have to understand that we're dealing with a bunch of redneck crackers, and we're dealing with a bunch of coons. See? Once again, I want to remind you, there's nothing civil about them, and there's nothing human about them. They're from the lowest pit of hell. When you look at the that devil, that white devil that formed the autopsy on Nolan Wells' body, same thing. See, these people ain't nothing civil about them. There's nothing human about them. They come from the lowest pit of hell, of hellfire. That's where they come from. And the coons is just is messed up as they are. See, a coon, his whole mind has been poisoned by his white slave master. See, he's been able to get been able to get poison into his mind, his spirit, his soul, and everything. The coon I'm talking about. A Negro, you might be able to redeem them. You may, depending on the degree of how sick he is. But a coon, there ain't no redeeming for no coon, because they sick. They sick all over their soul, in and out of their soul. They sick. See? So there ain't no redeeming for them. So when you think about the Carmelo Anthony's his case, and them, the new lawyers that he has, and them trying to bring about an appeal, and they do what they can to bring about the truth on his charges. See, because when you look at that whole thing, they played that in a way to set up that whole thing. And once again, y'all, I don't know why you be surprised at these redneck devils, these redneck crackers, and what they do. Same thing with all these coons that's been speaking real bad about Carmelo Anthony's, his mother and his father, even about him. See, understand, those coons worked on behalf of their slave master, their white slave master. That's a coon's purpose in life. A coon's purpose in life is to please his white slave master and the missus, and do everything he can to stay in good form with his white slave master and the missus. See, so you see, that's what we see. And you notice with the Carmelo Anthony's situation, all of the coons that got on social media and running him out and talking real bad about Carmelo Anthony himself, and talking bad about his mom and dad. This is what coons do. I'll say it once again. Most of the coons that's on social media, they have had poison put in their minds and their heart. And let me tell y'all something. The highest form of self-hate in a coon, that's the highest form of self-hate. The second highest form in a coon is an inferiority complex that he has about his color. He can't do anything about it. But what he tries to do is degrade everybody that is the same color him, looks like him, resembles him. He can't do anything about his color situation. He's stuck with that. He's born with it. He's going to die with it. But in between, they try to degrade through self-hate and the inferiority complex. They try to degrade every black person they can. The black ministers, the black church, the black community, black men, black women, black youth, you name it. That's their job. And when you see there's a number of coons that's got podcasts on. Now the podcasts are real popular. They have a lot of subscribers, they have a lot of viewers, and they have a lot of followers. That's because they put all their concentration in bringing her down, talking, and bringing down the black community. That's their main purpose. That's why they have those shows. That's why they're popular. And when you look at the collaboration of a coon with his white slave master, you understand it goes hand in hand. See, they work hand in hand. A white slave master has gave the instructions to these coons on exactly what to do on these platforms, what not to say, what not to talk about, certain things they avoid. And the one thing a coon cannot do, he cannot say anything against his white slave master and the missus. He can't say nothing against them. So you notice most time, like there's a light-skinned sister in the Georgia area. I think she calls herself Unshakable April. Light-skinned, short hair. She's always running her mouth as if she's come some kind of, well, she's legit because her white slave master have gave her the degree of being legit. So she's legit in what she does because what they have instructed her to do is to go hard at the black people, go hard at them, be ruthless, be rough with the black people, see. But let me tell you something. Most of those coons, I'll say it again, when you listen, if you ever hear them talk, most of the coons will not go against their white slave master and the missus. They won't go, they ain't gonna say nothing about the rednecks. They ain't gonna say nothing about them redneck crackers. I don't care what they do. Even if they did something to their own people, their own family, they would be making excuses for them and to verify and justify them doing it. So they won't. There's another coon on. He calls himself Mission Ready Men. I think big cowboy hat, light gray beard. He's become an expert on Islam and the Muslims. He's usually one of the experts on politics. He sits and talks like he's an expert, like he knows everything in the Islamic world and the Muslim world. There's another one, Arthur Henderson. He is a coon. He constantly is blaming the Democrats for everything. Every single thing that happened, the Democrats must have had something to do with it. Arthur Henderson is his name. Another coon. There's another coon by the name of Angry Man. He has a degree in being an expert on the whole horizon as it relates to sports, as it relates to relationship, just a whole, gamut of thing. But the target is always black men and black women. That's always the target. So you have these people who have these popular shows. Another coon woman. Coon woman is called herself Diamond and Silk. Same thing. And there's a list of ones that I wrote down. Some new ones I added to the mix. Let me see if I can find the names here. I put the names down. I know Jonathan Harvey is one. He sits back in the chair, like he's a expert on everything. Pretty J is one I saw too. AJ Harrison. Putin 21260. All of these coons are on social media, y'all. And understand, their main job is to talk down about the black community. Now let me throw something in here because I think it's important enough to mention this. Back in June 28th, I saw a poll that was taken on YouTube. 79% of black people, almost 80%, 79% of black people said they feel a responsibility to look out for other black people. That was 79%, y'all, almost 80%. And this shows us. Let me give me a little bit more light. This shows us one of the highest forms of solidarity. That's what this shows. Once again, 79% of black people said they feel a responsibility to look out for other black people, and we relate that to one of the highest forms of solidarity. See, people are always talking about unity all the time. Well, you got to have solidarity first. See, solidarity works hand in hand with the unity. It creates the unity. See, and so that the black people that you see riding around Carmelo Anthony's his appeal and what's going on with that, the support that you see for the solidarity that you see for Mr. Nolan Wilson, and to bring about justice and for the murder of Mr. Nolan Wilson. This is a high form of solidarity that you see black people rallying around his family, him, to bring about justice for the murder of Mr. Nolan Wilson. This form of solidarity that you see for all of the countless black men and black women has been lynched, see, hung from a tree. And you see the solidarity of people calling for some justice. See, all of that's part of a form of solidarity. For the countless black men who have been murdered by these pigs across this country. See, and you see people calling for justice. All of that is a high form of solidarity. Now some of these coons, they can't grasp that, y'all. They can't feel that. They can't understand it. They can't get it. And it's not their job really to get it. What we do know, almost 80% of black people, see, almost 80% of black people feeling a responsibility to look out. That's a key word, to look out for other black people. See, that's a tight grip of solidarity right there. When you say responsibility, feel a responsibility, and they feel a need to look out for other black people. That can carry across the board in so many areas, see. And so that's what we're working from. We know we have anywhere from 79, almost 80% of black people that feel that way. And see, when these coons get on social media, their job is to make you feel like that black people don't care about each other. Make you feel like black people are so. I'm gonna tell you what the analysis is, y'all. When these coons be talking, this is something I want you to really pay attention to. When the coons be talking on these different platforms, and these coons has got the real popular platforms, got lots of followers, see, subscribers and viewership and all of that. These coons, y'all, think about this now. This is a deep piece, y'all. Think about it. These coons, they sound the same way as a white slave master do. See, that they sound the same way as a white slave master do. The point I want to make when I say they sound the same, one of the things that the white slave master has said, continuous, has put it out there. And I heard Elijah Malik El-Shabazz kind of expound on this, is that in the Constitution, we were considered to be 3/5 of a human being. one of the things that the slave master has taught his coons, and you hear the coons expounding up on it now, is that we are always looked at as not being human. See, we don't have any human feelings and human emotions. We're not human beings. See, and so the coons now, they are presenting and saying that same thing about black people in the black community. The coons are expounding and saying the same thing that the white slave master and the missus say about black people. You know, we look what they put in the Constitution, 3/5. That means that you're not human. See, 3/5. You're not a whole human being. So the coons, oftentimes when they talk about the black community, about black people, they refer to that kind of language. See? That's what they refer to. They go back and use the language of their white slave master, their white, their master. See? And you heard me say, y'all, that if some of these coons could get a pill and take it overnight and change to be white, they would. We'd get a large percentage of them to do that. Or if they ever develop some cream to make them look lighter, lighter means you closer to being white. See, they would do that. See, they would do it, y'all, because that's that. Inside of those coons, they have that self-hate, and they have a serious inferiority complex. That's what drives them to want to be like their slave master. See, to want to defend their slave master, to want to be around their slave master. See, and you hear some of these coons on talking about. There's one coon on, I think his name is John King or something like that. He talks about the fact that he was raised by whites and raised in the white community. He don't have, he's real negative when it comes to being around black people even. Actually, he acts as if he's kind of scared of being around black people in the black community, see. But that comes from that inferiority complex that's been created inside of him to have self-hate towards his own color and to develop a inferiority complex. See? That's what that comes from, see? So you have some coons who have taken on that same perspective, and you hear them advocating that when they talk on some of these platforms, see? Because they have that self-hate inside of them about, first of all, about their own self. That's where it originates from. Then their own color. And they have a serious inferiority complex. And see, that inferiority complex can cause you to have all of that kind of envy and jealousy and resentment inside of you. When you hear people talking about, you hear some of these coons talking about Ben Crump, see, and things about him, and you hear them talk about Reverend Al Sharpton. That's that self-hate, inferiority complex, and the envy and jealousy that's inside those coons that has traveled from their white slave master, and the poison that got inside them, and they can't, actually, I ain't gonna say they can't shake it. They don't want to shake it. See, they don't want to shake it. They want to stay that way because that's probably the closest they're going to get to being white. See, that's the closest they're going to probably get. Until the technology develops a pill that a coon can take and turn white overnight, or until there's some cream technology, the cream has been developed that they can use to make their skin look lighter, and possibly pass for being white. But in the meantime, in between, they are stuck with being, they stuck with the color they got. They were born with it. Most likely they're going to die with it. Ain't nothing they can do in between. But once again, this is what you see going on. And I'm going to tell you something else too. I said this before. I believe, Allah knows, I believe they performed a satanic ritual on Mr. Nolan Wells' body. These white devils, these white crackers. That's what I believe they did in Mississippi. All them people that was at that pool party, 200, 200, 300 people, performed a satanic ritual on Mr. Nolan Wells' body. See, understand, anytime that you have people, this is why I say people in Mississippi, ain't nothing civil about them crackers, ain't nothing human about them crackers. Anytime you would have a public hanging and you would make a public announcement or put a flyer up that some black man or black woman or black child was going to be lynched today, and then have the crackers to come there like they were going to a picnic, bringing their kids, having picnic baskets, while they watch a black man, a black woman, a black child being executed, hung, lynched, and then throwing gasoline on them and setting them on fire. Now, what's civil about some devils that do that? What's human about some devils that would do that kind of stuff? See, but this is what they would do. A lynching or hanging would be a socializing for them, where they would bring picnic baskets, bring their kids, and sit down and watch that. Now, what would be civil and human about doing something like that? How could the people be civil? How could they be human? See? But that's what they would do on the lynchings. And we have today's time, we have all of these black women who have been lynched. See? And then they'll come back and lie and say something about they committed suicide. Black men being lynched, they committed suicide. But see, this is what a redneck cracker devil would do. All of the cameras they got up these days, the technology they got, see, and it would show exactly what happened. We know that. But see, what them crackers probably did, in every case where a black man or a black woman is being lynched, they done already confiscated the cameras, probably erased what was on there, because it would show clearly who lynched them and who did it. But they done, if they removed all of that, then it could make it appear like the black man and the black woman committed suicide. That's what they always run to first anyway, see, that they took their own life. And that's how you know that these redneck cracker devils ain't got nothing civil about them and nothing human about them. Because the first thing they would say when a black man and black woman has been lynched, the first thing that come out of their mouth, they committed suicide. They took their life. They drowned themselves. See? And we know that's a lie, but that's what a devil, white devil would do. That's what these crackers always do. That's the first thing they run to. Always is suicide. Because suicide, they don't have to do nothing. They can almost close the case. See? Ruling suicide. And this is what they always do. So this is a prime example. Once again, a reminder. This is a prime example to let you know that we are at war. See? When you see when you see the amount of lynchings that has taken place this year, 2026, see, of black men and black women, when you see the amount of murders by these redneck cracker pigs that has murdered black people, black men and black women and black babies all over the country, this is a clear sign of they've declared war against us. And what they are doing, there's nothing civil about what they're doing. There's nothing human about what these devils are doing. Nothing. See? And you can side with them. You can make excuses. You can take up all you want to. But if you one of them coons that do that, you just as poison as they are. See, or more poison. But we understand a coon's job is to always, I don't care what the situation, circumstance, but it's always to defend his white slave master and the missus. That's always his job. And so all of you that be on social media and making excuses for these white boys, you knowing that they murdered Nolan Wells, all of you who be on social media making excuses for them, you just as sick as they are. See, because it shows that the level of your self-hate, and it shows the level of your inferiority complex that you have about yourself first, and then anybody that looks like your color. See, that's what it shows. The self-hate and the inferiority complex. All you coons who will make excuses for these white boys. All you coons who attack Nolan Wells' mother. See, if you are attacking her on social media, are the coons or the cowards who sending mail to their house. See, that's nothing but a coon. That's what it is. That's nothing but a redneck. See, do something like that. And plus, on top of it, coon or redneck, it's a coward. It's a coward move. See, because you wouldn't be brave enough to put no return address on the mail that went to their house. I know you wouldn't. You wouldn't be brave enough to do that. But it takes a coward to carry out an act like that. See, that you would attack Nolan Wells' mother, same way you attack Camilla Anthony's mother and father. See, and this is a pattern of what a redneck cracker would do, or a coon, either one, whichever one that did it. If you both did it, the shoe fits wet, you know. So one of you did it, somebody did it. See, and so there's no justification for that kind of action, no justification at all. And the only reason that the mass media has picked this up is because it's due to the pressure and the level of people continuing to be outraged about the murder of Mr. Nolan Wells. See, about the Camilla Anthony's case, about all of the black women that's being hung, lynched, black men being lynched and hung, these redneck cracker police departments, which are probably nothing but white supremacists, Klan members, you name it, that are murdering black people, all of that. See, this is a clear indication that war has been declared on black people in this country. Clear indication. We always say that the signs and symbols are for the conscious mind. If you can't read the signs, and if you can't read the symbols and what's going on, then I don't know what to tell you. But see, if you're a coon, then you ain't gonna be able to see no signs and no symbols. All you're gonna see is the instructions that your white slave master tells you what to say, what to do, how to act, how to behave, what not to say. And if you get on social media like that tape, see, he has a, you hear me continue to say, he has a PhD in what it is to be a professional coon. That tape that you see on TV, remember, he has a PhD in what it is to be a coon. He's followed up by Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith. These are the three top coons that have a PhD in what it is to be a coon. The other ones that have a master's, they trying to climb to that top spot and join them coons already up there. You got some that's, got a BA degree. They working on getting a master's, but that's what you got going on now. And so lots of these coons that you see on social media, there's different levels to this stuff. There's different levels to being a coon. The ones that's at the highest level, they mastered through the work with a slave master, they mastered, got a doctorate in what it is to be a professional coon. See, there's a difference in being a regular coon and then a professional coon. Those coons at the top, they have a doctor's degree, which means that they have had some serious training, y'all. And that serious training has come from them and their relationship with their white slave master and the missus. That's where that's come from. The one that's got a master's degree, they still working on the training and trying to aspire to get to that doctor's level. But they working on they got the master's thing. They working on that. The ones that's got the BA, they got a little ways to go. But don't count them out though, because they working too. Once again, you have been listening to the Morning Talk, where we speak the truth. Now we speak the truth. We tell the truth. Coming from the last man standing. Truth is a wealth of freedom. We communicate, educate, and organize. Truth is a wealth of freedom. We communicate, educate, and organize. Truth is a wealth of freedom. We communicate, educate, and organize.